Well, welcome on in. We're getting to the end of week number 10 here. As I'm chit-chatting, feel free to do some warm-up movements that you're comfortable with, whether that's maybe some foam rolling or some things that we've played around with in the past. Now is a great time to do that. Today is going to be the last day of our last six workouts of following kind of the same protocol. Next week we'll change things up a little bit. Some of that is still to be determined. Weight-wise, what you're going to need today is either two light weights, so some cans can be really useful, especially if you kind of fall under the more moderate category for us generally, or maybe something a little bit heavier like 2 water bottles. Of course, a couple weights are handy, but find some different things, maybe some wine bottles around the house that can fall into like 2 moderate to lighter handheld weight options. Beyond that, let's continue to kind of keep that barefoot revolution thing going. I'm for it. Let's continue to kind of feel that throughout the workout. It's definitely a new piece, hopefully, for all of us as we've been in quarantine here. If you got any of your own tunes, this is the right time to put that on and get cranking through your movements. If you got any injuries, you be careful about what you're doing. You pay attention to things. Sharp or bright pains are a no-no. And then just because we're doing a lot of range of motion stuff that is individual-sided today, if you get confused, maybe starting on your right side, something we used to say in the early videos, is a good way to just keep yourself in check. So your first one you would do on the right side. And we'll try to do the same of that over here as we're working out. That's enough of me. That's all I got going. Let's get moving. We're gonna bring ourselves into our cat-cow position here first. So hands are gonna go under the shoulders, knees under the hips. We breathe in, bring the chin up, and we exhale and we push through those palms. Inhale, lift, belly pushes down. Exhale, arch. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. Breathe in and out. All right, let's go down to the floor, flat to the floor, arms out wide, T position with the body. We're going to, from the hips up, lift up, and exhale and lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Remember, this is back, so let's squeeze the back, pull muscles to the spine, release back down, and one more. All right, and then move those hands higher up, wide position next, or W's for a more manageable option. Breathe in, lift up, exhale, smooth, come back down. Always smooth as you're coming back down. That's the main piece of waking up safety as well as strength here. All right, from here we get into our pigeon pose. So we're gonna thread that right foot across. We're gonna put our hands down, kind of use that as our foundation. We're going to lift up both the knees, pressing through the palms, and sink the hips back to the floor. Breathe in, lift up. Exhale, lower. Okay, and think as we lower that the shoulders start to relax. They almost kind of release the neck at the bottom of this while they stretch the hip. All right, switch it out. Opposite leg. All right, find your starting position. Let's breathe in and lift both the knees. Exhale, lower. Push the hip down. Last 2, breathe in, push through those palms, release the neck at the bottom. All right, and from here we make our way into a plank position, and we're going to do our walkouts from here. Start with a good solid plank first. Keep the legs straightish as we walk those hands back towards the feet. We stand up, we lift up with those arms, reach high, bring it back down. Control your out and show me a perfect plank at the bottom before you repeat. Legs a little straight so we can stretch the back of them as we go up and down. So right here, legs a little straight. Okay. Hold that plank. Walk it back in, legs a little straight. Feel that stretch. And reach. And last one more. All right, walk it back in. Stand up tall, bring those arms up. Let's take a few steps forward from there if you need in order to have space to step backwards. Hug your right knee in towards your chest. Send your right foot way back. Put your right hand to the floor, open and hold. So as we hold here, we're going to reassess what's happening in kind of the groin and the center body. I want you to push the hips lower to the floor. And now bring that left hand down, push back, and try and straighten that forward leg. Feeling that stretch through the back, and step. All right, let's switch it. Left knee hugs in, then we send it way back. Now we're going to hold, and we're going to reset once again, kind of pushing those hips a little bit lower down into the floor. Hand comes down, extend through the right, hold it, 2, 1, and step it. All right, let's repeat. Right side up, right side back. Open and hold, sink those hips. Hand down, stretch it, and step it. All right, our last one on the left. Hug it in, send it way back, and hold. Sink. Hand down, lean back and stretch. 2, 1, and step it. All right, right on. Let's do a little butt kickers from here. So heel to butt behind you. And once we've got that going, let's start circling those arms in a forward motion. All right, you're working on full range of motion. So what are your shoulders giving you right now? Might feel a little bit of crunching in there. And then reverse it. Still kicking your butt, but bringing those arms backwards, still at that full range of motion, or wherever feels okay for you. Let's go 3, 2, and 1. All right, and so let's finish up with our cardio one more time. We've got our squats and our opposite elbow and knee tap at the top. So we're working through that. We've got 30 seconds. We're gonna start in 3, in 2, in 1. Let's go ahead and start it here. One good squat going down, and as you come up, give me some connection. With that connection, breathe out, right? We want an exhale, and we want to start getting into what our proper breathing is with each of our movements throughout the workout today. You're halfway there. If you want to pump it up just a little bit, you are welcome to it. Challenge what you're doing here. And we go finished up in 3, in 2, in 1. That is good, everybody. You've officially got yourself warm for the workout. I'm going to put a little bit of that onto there. We're going to get into your full range of motion stuff from here. Sarah and I have 3 demos for you, and then we're demoing the hold as well to follow. So first up, we're going to start with those weighted options, right? We want something like lightweight, maybe medium weight, and we want 2 of them. So I'm going to grab the cans because you guys know how hard I work out during these workouts. All right, now, both weights out in front of you, squat position. Give me one good squat coming down. When you come up, you're going to pull your elbows out to the side. You're going to do a shoulder press. You're going to bring it back down in front and then repeat. Okay, so you're kind of making this a piece-by-piece movement. If you can make it robotic, I like that idea. I think it really forces you to stabilize each of the individual parts. Of course, if you need a more manageable option, maybe not taking that squat quite so high, or adjusting where the shoulders are pushing so that you can be a little bit safer. The bottom point, our hold, just real simple. Weights out in front, hold it in place, work on balance as well as power through those legs. Second movement, we're going to bring it down to the floor. And we've been doing a few of these movements here where we kind of have like that dog on a fire hydrant thing going on. Well, we're going to repeat that. So it's hands and knees position. You're going to lift one leg out. You're going to rotate it around and slowly back down into its socket. Okay, so you always want to kind of bring that knee right back into that start position of under the hip. And we're going clockwise your first time around here. It's a glute, it's a hip movement, so I want you to find and feel that. Once we get into the hold of that, it's just simple out to the side, lift, hold, and control it back down. The second time around in our hold another side, we're going to change that to straight back. You want to give them a quick demo on that one? Perfect, yeah, so there's your straight back option onto there. Okay, and then after that we go side plank with rotation. So let's get into a good solid side plank position. Top hand is up. What I want with this rotation is the hips to lift up when you come under with the hand, and then the hips to kind of straighten back into line when we get up to the top of that side plank position. Now, options, you could be down on that bottom knee. You could even add like a little bit of weight, like a can could be a nice option through here. And then when we get to the hold, we're going to go flat down to the side. We're going to open up the arms. We're going to bring hands and feet up, and we're going to hold right there. So kind of just this small hold. If you needed a more manageable option, hand and foot stay on the floor and the top ones lift only. So more manageable has those top ones lifting only. Those are our movements. Let's get to it. We've got 6 rounds in a row to get us started into our very first little bit here. I need you to grab 2 moderate weights or maybe 2 light weights. Get yourself set up. And of course, if it's body weight, you're welcome to that as well. We've got that squat combo. We're going to start in 10. So let's get ourselves all set into position. Squats, weights in front. We start in 3, in 2, and 1. You get the squat, you bring the elbows out, press up, Control everything right back in. Perfect. All right, more manageable. You're not going as low, right? You're gonna kind of keep yourself into depths that are safe for you. And the same could go for where the shoulders kind of push up and extend as well. Good, and with a good squat, let's think about kind of powerful through those heels, right? Identify the heel early on. As you stand up, breathe out, right? Push through the squat, stand up, breathe out, put that together into the breathing. We're gonna go finished up with this in 3, in 2, in 1. Next up, we've got the hold coming, so it's gonna be the bottom part of the squat that we're holding for 20. We start in 3, in 2, in 1. Let's bring it down and lock it in. Good, so Sarah does an incredible job with these holds. She's really kind of idealized getting the shoulders right on top of the ankles all the way down. 10 more seconds. Bellies are tight. Middle of the foot maybe is where we're feeling that weight. Finished in 3, in 2, in 1. Let's come down to the floor, hands and knees. Get into kind of that fire hydrant rotation. Remember, rotate clockwise on these. In 2, in 1. Lift up, rotate around, and same direction this time on that single side. All right, so work on identifying what feels like kind of a smooth, rounded move for you. You know, where are you kind of making that curve up and then curve back down? Let's continue to make sure that the hands are doing some work so we can grip the fingers into the mat a little bit extra. We can tighten the belly a little bit extra. We'll go 3, 2, and rest for 10. Next up, it's a side lift and hold. So lateral lift and hold will be coming up next. We'll start that in 3, in 2, let's lift. We got 20 here. Okay, find balance through the hips, right? Because right now we've got some funkiness through the hips. One side's lifting way up. Just work on control there. Breathe through it. Tighten the core to help control through this as well. We'll go finished up in 3, in 2, in 1. Side plank position is next. Remember which side you are starting on. You can be on the knee. You can be extended. We rotate in 2, in 1. The hips come up as you rotate under, and then open nice and tall at the top. And so I do like the idea of let's reach underneath the body. Let's kind of increase that full range of rotation into here. Perfect. And if we want to start putting that breathing into it, breathe in when you rotate in, breathe out when you open up tall. Okay, breathe in, bring it in, exhale and open and tall. 10 seconds, you got last few right here. After this, we're gonna stay lying down on this side in 3, in 2, in 1. Let's go ahead and extend the arms and the legs out. It's gonna be a lift and a hold for 20 coming up. Side hollow hold in 2, in 1. Lift up, lock it in, and breathe, folks, and breathe. Now, if your neck starts getting tight, I want you to loosen things up, try to shake it out a little bit. There you go. I like that. That's nice. In 3, in 2, in 1. Come back up with us. We've got that squat, that elbow rotation, and that press. Weights in hand. We get started in 3, in 2, in 1. Squat, rotate with the shoulders, and bring it back in piece by piece. Let's think robotic. We gotta get those shoulders kicking out. Let's feel through that squat. We've got heels and we've got core. There we go. All right, everybody, so focus into your movement. Hopefully we're starting to get everything good and warm. If you're feeling good with what you're doing, give me just a little bit more right now. Push intensity for 10 seconds. After this, we've got squat hold coming up. 3, 2, 1. We get 10 recover, then we go down to that squat hold next. You move some weights around, get yourself set in 3, in 2, in 1, down to that squat, lock it in, and breathe. Now, you know what I've been telling you recently? If you try to lock the mentality in here, Now, you will not give up. You will get stronger through this. Abs tight, heels working. We go finished up in 3, in 2, in 1. Let's bring it down to the floor. We go rotations, opposite side, opposite leg this time. Thank you for turning around and showing everybody that. 2, 1, bring it up, rotate it around, and down.
Wait, how's it clockwise this way?
Well, just take it out the same way you did last time. Just, if you guys get confused on this, just think about what you did on the other side and jump on in through there. Perfect. And as you're doing that, you're slowing it down, especially in the early parts if you're getting a little confused. Try to find smooth turns, right? Kind of a nice rounded rotation in and out of that motion. And we've got ourselves about 10 seconds here. Abs tight, hands pressing down to wake up more. We go finished up in 3, in 2, in 1. She's gonna hold it straight out to the side next. So straight out to the side. She'll start in about 5 more seconds. 2, 1, lift, hold it. Ooh, she got that side kick. All right, so that's a precursor for what's coming on later. There's gonna be some ninja moves happening later on. All right, in 3, in 2, in 1. All right, so let's get into next. Oh shoot, what do we have next?
Side plank.
Side plank. Geez, side plank rotation. 2, 1, get yourself up into it, rotate under, and open up nice and tall. Got my workout brain going on. Now, if any of you pay attention to really finite details of these videos, you've noticed in the last 2 weeks that my clock is not able to go beyond a certain set of numbers. So it makes things a little extra spicy for me in trying to remember. And you know me and numbers, not the best. All right, we got ourselves about 10 more seconds here. Telling time numbers. Yeah. So you do a little bit extra, everybody wins, it's all good. In 3, in 2, in 1, go ahead and lie down on your side, arms overhead. We do the full lift coming up. We get set up in 3, in 2, in 1. Good. Now, remember, more manageable approach, hand and foot could be down on the bottom side, and we could just be lifting that top arm and that top foot if you need it.
I feel like the harbor seals.
Got a little bit of seal in you. Yeah.
Oh, they lay like that?
Santa Cruz seals. We rock those Santa Cruz seals. In 3, in 2, in 1. That's good, everybody. That is first breather of the day. That is an opportunity to get some water, to get a high five. I'm not going to give you too much time, so don't waste too much. Get the water if you need it. And we're going to restart on this stuff. All right. What do you say, shall we? Let's get to it. The faster we get through it, well, maybe we even burn a few extra calories by pushing intensity. I'm going to hit the 10-second start. You've got squats, you've got rotating elbows, you've got shoulder presses in 10. Get set up. Weights should be in hand. Once again, I'm going heavy over here. In 3, in 2, in 1. That squat. Bring those elbows out and that shoulder press. All right, that's enough for me. I'm exhausted over here. Take a break. You're doing good though. Great work. You've added some weight, so you mean business today. I appreciate that. It's a Friday. Not everyone comes in with the enthusiasm that she does. Add those extra weights if you got them around. No sarcasm in that. You got 10 more seconds remaining. All right, we go finished up in 3, in 2, in 1. We go hold next. Squat hold coming up. Weights down if you need to. Let's get in position. We start you in 3, in 2, in 1. Bring it down, lock it in. Let's think tight bellies. Smile, everybody. Just give me a little smile. Just a small one, not too big. Felt good, didn't it? All right, breathe. Did you smile over there?
Mm-hmm.
You're frowning all the time. 3, 2, and 1. Let's bring it down. And then now as we get into that leg lift, we're gonna rotate it the opposite direction. Okay, so right side, opposite rotation in 3, in 2, in 1. You start by going back, and then you wrap it around. Bingo. Okay, once again, smooth it out, especially early on. Let's just figure out kind of brain and body together. We also call that our proprioception. Looking at you there. Let's go abs tight. Let's find stability through the body. Get yourself 15 seconds. Let's keep breathing, huh? Make it smooth with that in and out. Keep that oxygen flowing. We'll go finished up in 3, in 2, in 1. Now the hold this time is going to be from the backside, so it's going to be a backside lift just like Sarah's showing you right there. We'll get to it. 20 seconds of hold starts in 3, in 2, in 1, up and hold. Same rules as before. I want you feeling stability through both the shoulders and through that single knee down on the floor. Integrate that core into the balance. Tighten things up and lock in. Let's go in 3, in 2, in 1. It's side plank next with the rotation. You got the option of being on the knee if you need it. You can split those feet or stack them. In 2, in 1, lift up. Now as you rotate under, those hips raise up to the ceiling and then bring it back down. So see what kind of lift of your hips you can give me as you rotate under. Practice that here. Excellent. If you burn out, take a small breather. I guess that was really fortuitous timing, wasn't it? Take as long of a break as you want. I won't come over and yell at you to do any faster or harder. You got 10 more seconds. But I saw you out there, and I wasn't impressed. Surely you can do a little bit better out there. All right, finished up in 3, in 2, in 1. We go flat to the floor. We extend out through the hands and the feet. We're going to do that hold for 20 coming up. Your side hollow hold in 3, in 2, in 1. Lift it up, lock it in. Remember smiles, smiles and rainbows, kitty cats, cupcakes, and sparkle. Breathe. Last little bit, everybody. We go finish up in 3, in 2, in 1. We bring it right back up and we go to that squat, that rotation, and that press. Get in position. We start in 3, in 2, in 1. You get that piece by piece squat, shoulder rotation, shoulder press, and bring it right down piece by piece to follow. All right. So notice how kind of the weight changes as you go from that front hold to that extended back hold. And where I want you to feel it is those lats, right? We bring that weight back. Those lats should now turn on and be extra active in the control factor. Abs tight to support the entirety of the body through here. We go finished in 3, in 2, in 1. We've got last hold coming up here. 20 seconds, last squat hold to follow. Starting in 3, in 2, in 1. Let's see it, Sarah. Perfect. So honestly, I could not coach this better. Between her top body kind of hinging a little bit at the hips here. You'll notice kind of shoulders stacked nicely over the ankles. Her position is perfect. You can play with that at home hopefully too. Finished in 3, in 2, in 1. Let's bring it down to the floor. On our opposite side with our leg, we're doing those rotations. Back to side. In 3, in 2, in 1. Start by lifting from the back. First few, I want you to just kind of take it slow again. Find and feel it. It might be your more challenged side, the side that you don't prefer to use, and so slow it down, kind of get everything into place.
I went backwards the last time.
Okay, see, perfect. So she kind of caught herself and was like, I didn't do it that way last time. Reverse it over if you notice something different. No time's too late. We got 10 more seconds here. All right. We go hold next, but breather in 3, in 2, in 1. That's good. Take your breather for 10. Then we're going to do the lift from the back only. So in 3, 2, 1, lift and hold from the back. And what I love about Sarah here is like she's not, I love so many things about Sarah here. But what I love about Sarah is that she doesn't lift this knee excessively high, right? She's going to keep it just slightly below that hip or maybe at hip level. And that's gonna get her into like a good point. In 3, in 2, in 1. We get that next 10-second break. We go side plank next. Big rotations here, folks. I want to see hips lifting up as you turn under. In 3, in 2, in 1. Rotate under, lift those hips up, and then open and breathe out. Inhale, bring it under. Exhale, create that smooth lift to the top. All right. Locking it in at this point. If you're feeling good, maybe you can start pushing tempo for those final few here. We've got the hold to finish, then it's break time. We've got last 10 seconds. Perfect, great, I love it. She's really giving me that extra little lift. In 3, in 2, in 1, flatten, side hollow hold, 420, and then it's break time. In 3, in 2, in 1. Lift up, hold it, smile. I don't know about you all, but the hollow holds really get me. Sarah? Yeah? Well, use your words there. She's killing me with her stare. In 3, in 2, in 1. That is break time, everybody. Woo! We'll take a breather. We'll see if Sarah stabs me on the side here. How are we doing there, boss?
Tired.
I know, it's been a long week. End of the week is here. I mean, we've got our cardio sets to finish this out, and then we're good to go. So everybody, let's dig down deep. Get our last bit of energy and make it count as we finish up. First movement of our cardio, 40-20 sets right here. Once again, moderate weight. Once again, because I go heavy, I'm using a can. We're gonna go snatch, and remember the key to that snatch is the squat with the elbow bending, the weight staying in front of you, and then lifting that up nice and tall. So dropping down into that, and then bringing that weight up nice and tall at the top. If you can bring that weight just a tiny bit back, that's where we're gonna get that posterior shoulder work good and active. Our second movement, we bring it down to the floor, we go plank position. It's a single arm plank. It's a movement we've done before where you're gonna reach back and go towards the opposite foot with that hand. And then as you come forward, you're gonna extend that arm out. So here to there. Your more manageable approach has you on the knees and keeping the hips forward with the arm raising up and then coming under. Arm raising up and coming under as that more manageable option for you. And then our final movement, this is a new one for us. This is where our ninja skills pick back up again. We're gonna go onto our back, and your full roll, you're gonna go up and lift your feet and your hips, and then you're gonna come onto the feet and stand up and bring those arms up. Now, Sarah's gonna show you the option of doing a reverse crunch with just a little bit of a sit up at the top. Great. So for her, her knees bug her if she kind of works on this too much with that full stand. So the option we've given her right here is just to kind of do a bit of a sit up and then a controlled roll. There's always a hip press in what we're doing though. The hips are always gonna go up through that hip press, very, very similar to how we always do our reverse crunches. Let's get to it. We've got some cardio to get through. We got 3 sets. 40-20s is our number. And a moderate weight to start out with that snatch. 10 seconds and we get going. Weight should be in hand. Feet should be in that shoulder width part. We start in 3, 2, and 1. You squat down. You bend that elbow as you go up, as well as you coming back down through that motion. Good. Now, this is meant to be a powerful movement. So think that the legs are giving you a burst as you come up through that. And think as that weight goes to the very top, lock it for a half second before you drop it back down. So you give me a powerful burst, you breathe out, and you give me back at the top of that. Got 10 more seconds. Good, last few. Finished up in 3, in 2, in 1. Now our active recovery, put the weight down, is a step forward and a lifting of the arms. After this active recovery, we're going down to the floor. We're going to be getting into that single arm plank. Join me down there. Feet should be wide for this plank. We're going to reach back opposite and extend forward in 2, in 1. one side, or manageable option has you on the knees and keeps those hips forward while you do a single arm reach and bring it underneath in that return. Excellent. Find breathing into this. Let's consistently make sure that we have breathing. And then as you extend out, push your hips forward just a tiny bit. Think about that side of the body lowering to the floor just a tiny bit, and that's really going to wake up way more core. We'll go finished up in 3, in 2, in 1. We go child's pose as active recovery next. And then to follow child's pose, we have the rolling onto our back. It is American Ninja Warrior style here. Let's turn it around, get onto your back. You can do reverse crunch if you like. Hip press in 2, in 1, and then stand up, bring it up if you got it in you. Or do what Sarah's doing, where you can just go to that seated position at the top of things as well. Perfect, perfect. So think smooth, right? Whatever you're doing, I want you to maintain kind of consistency and control into the motion. There we go. And once we're done with this movement, we're going to stay on our back and we're going to do our single leg hip drops with that low back pressure for 20. Our break will follow that. We go finished with this in 3, in 2, in 1. Stay on your back, feet are up in that single leg drop with low back pressure, right? Push that low back down right here. Try to reverse those core muscles we were just using. And we'll go finished up in 3, in 2, and 1. That's your first breather. It's not going to be a long one. If you want a quick sip of water, let's do it now.
So is this round 2?
This is round 2.
How are we doing 3 rounds if we've got 2 on each side?
I don't know. Let's get to it though. All right, so 10 seconds we'll start out. Go ahead and bring yourself into position. 1 good snatch going down. Rip that weight on the way up. I see what you're saying. We'll get to that in 3, 2, and 1. 1 good snatch down, and then rip that weight up. Good. So remember, powerful leg push is really the first and most important bit to making this all the way a lot more active. Good. You're bringing that weight up with some speed, and you're feeling that posterior shoulder at the top. You got 20 seconds. As you stand up, you breathe out. All right, so let's go 5 more seconds. Last few, we'll go finished up in 3, in 2, in 1. We bring it down to the floor, or excuse me, we stand up and we just continue doing those recoveries of stepping and lifting. Then we'll be going down to the floor for that single arm plank. Opposite side this time. Let's bring it down, feet wide for that plank position. Reaching back and reaching up in 2, in 1. Practice going through here. If you need, you're on the knees, keeping the hips forward through that single arm reach. And you know the deal. Keep the breath as a part of what we're doing. We got ourselves last 10 seconds here. Same thing, let's keep it together here, folks. Working through those final few. Finished up in 3, in 2, in 1. Onto our backs, we get the body roll. Oh, excuse me, jeez. I got my brain in other things right now. So we're in and out of that child's pose, and then we will be turning it around for those ninja rolls up next. Let's do that. Let's turn you around, go onto your back. We get started with those rolls in 2, in 1. Bring those feet up and hips up. And think about, give me a little bit of that press down at the bottom. Bingo, bingo. So with our reverse crunch, we always have those feet trying to get from here to a press up. Really make sure that we get that press up with each of those plees. There we go. All right, so we got ourselves about 15 seconds. If you're feeling good, give me a little extra, little push through what we're doing, a little explosivity. All right, and we go finished up in 3, in 2, in 1, back onto the back, single leg drops with that low back pressure, and then we'll take one more breather here. Now, maximize what we're doing with that low back now. Push with some strength, really fill that lift of the low back down, and we'll go finished up in 3, in 2, in 1. That's recovery. Now, Sarah brought up an interesting point that kind of shocked me for a moment there. We didn't necessarily plan this one perfectly, because are we just going to do one side of snatches on one side and forget the other side in our third and final round? I think not. You know, and something that I was thinking about beforehand earlier today was, well, should we spice things up just a little bit extra? I think we should. So we've got 2 more rounds remaining. That way we can hit both sides for those snatches and our second movement as well. Sound reasonable? Very good. Don't complain out there. It's extra work. You'll be doing great. So sip of water, get in position. We're going to get right back to everything. I'm going to get you started in 10. Snatch. Feet, shoulder width. 1 good squat, 1 good lift. Oh, shoot. You didn't start for me. Okay. Hope you all enjoyed your extra long beginning. In 3, in 2, in 1. We get that squat. We're going to really stand up tall, bring that weight back. We're going to feel that posterior shoulder at the top. Now we've got 2 more rounds right here. You're working power out of this. That means I want explosivity as you come up. Or if you need to dial it down a little bit, maybe you give me a bicep curl at the top. If that shoulder is starting to give to you, make a small adjustment to keep yourself safe. We got 15 seconds. Come on, folks. Keep pushing right here with me. All right, and we go finished up in 3, in 2, in 1, standing still, weight goes down, stepping and lifting with those arms. Okay, after this, we're going to the floor. Single arm plank will follow. Let's bring it down to the floor. Let's get those feet nice and wide. Get set. Begin it in 3, 2, and 1. Reach it back. Extend it forward. More manageable approach. Hips stay forward, and that arm is extending and lowering. Now, if you're doing that full plank, I want to see that the hips come forward at the front. That is where our core is working. That's where we can turn on those glutes and keep safety as well as recruit more. All right, we got 10 more seconds here. Finished with this in 3, in 2, in 1, down to the knees, child's pose, in and out of that child's pose to recover here. There we go. All right, flip it around onto the back. We go through those body rolls. Let's get to it. Starting in 3, in 2, in 1. Perfect. So Sarah's got that big hip press now. If you're getting more comfortable with this, this is what I want. Show me a strong high hip press and show me a slower release coming back down. Good. Then when you're in that more down position, momentum to drive you into that seated or standing from there. There we go. Okay, we got ourselves about last 10 seconds. Come on, folks. Let's keep that breathing. Let's keep momentum going right here. There we go. There we go. We're going to follow this with single leg drops in 3, in 2, in 1. Feet stay up, back stays flat, and flatten that low back now too. Good. Breathing steady. If your neck's tight, just move that head around a little bit. Smile, enjoy. Got 1 more round after this. Finished in 3, in 2, in 1. All right. I'm going to keep the break super small right here. So if you need a small sip of water, grab it right now. I'm going to reset this clock. We're going to get into the snatch on that opposite side. We start in 10, folks. We start in 10. Last opportunity, last 3 of the day. In 3, 2, 1. Bring that weight up with power, right? With zest, bring that weight up. There we go. And as you lift, breathe out, right? You come up from that squat and go. Abs stay tight, especially when that weight drops. Keeping those abs tight keeps your low back safe. We got 15 seconds remaining. Come on, come on. Working, working, working. After this, we've got recovery stand-in. You can drop the weights. That will come up. We'll go finish with snatch in 3, in 2, in 1. Drop it, step it, lift. All right. Single arm plank will come next with those reaches. You can be on the knees if you need. Let's bring it down. Wide stance with those feet. Right, reach back and reach forward with that hip press. 2, 1, let's go. There it is, there it is. So early and often. Now we got a ton of shoulder work right here. I need you to make sure that you keep that belly tight, right? Let's keep support and safety into what we're doing. You're already halfway there. You got 20 seconds. Come on, folks. If you're burning out, bend the knees and push those hips forward and finish with that more manageable approach. 10 seconds. And we go finish officially in 3, 2, 1. Down to the knees. Child's pose in and out. Sarah's always got that push up into there. It's only semi-recover for her. All right, we're going to flip it around. Give me that ninja roll. Last little bit here. You got 40, and then we got 20 in 2, in 1. Lift those hips and heels up. And then give me momentum in bringing the body forward.
Can't do the roll.
You can do it just fine. Ooh, look at that. Did the knees feel okay? See? So, honestly, I just asked her, your knees feel okay? She gave me the Don't do it. Don't do it. If your knees are telling you no go, go to this seated position instead. Let's keep you safe so we can keep fighting for further days here. We got 10 more seconds. Good. Let's finish that breathing, finish that routine. We've got low back presses that will follow in 3, in 2, in 1. We stay on that back. We drop that single leg. And you push to your maximum capability to end your workout. Last little bit, finished up in 3, in 2, in 1. That is official for your week, ladies and gentlemen. Nice job out there. Take a breather. We're going to keep you on your backs. We're going to get into some stretching. If you want some water, go ahead and treat yourself to some of that water. All right, so figure 4 is where I like us to start if you're on that back. So go ahead and wrap a foot around that opposite knee. Very good. As we're in that figure 4, let's click into just a little bit of belly breathing to assist kind of the cool down effect. All right. Now that knee that's across, if you want, you can try to push that away from your body and you can increase a bigger stretch through a little bit of that outside hip. One more big inhale, belly breath in. Nice long exhale out. We're going to drop that left leg. We're going to hug the right knee in. And then that right knee, we're going to bring it over to the left side. You're going to open up to that right. Eyes looking at your right hand. Belly breathing. Well, folks, today we want to talk to you about the best way to start your day. A healthy breakfast. And what falls under a good healthy breakfast? What constitutes that? Let's go ahead and unwind ourselves. Let's get into our figure 4 on our opposite side here. And once again, that knee that's kind of kicked out to the side, if you want to push it manually with a hand, you can open kind of a bigger stretch. Or you can stay as is, just kind of gripping behind that hamstring. So breakfast, most important meal of the day is what we hear. And that makes sense, right? Because A, we're ending a fasting cycle. And we've talked more about that with intermittent fasting. Let's go ahead and drop that right leg down, and let's hug the knee in, and then bring it over to the right side. You're going to look out to your left side. You're going to hold. You're going to breathe. You're going to smile. Very good. Yeah, so we've talked about the importance of fasting, and I'm not going to harp on that too much, but we do think of breakfast as the end of that. And so what I think is very powerful and important about that is you've been doing something to try to benefit your body already through some form of fasting, potentially. Wouldn't you want to put something that is going to help your body work to its best capabilities for the rest of the day? Let's go ahead and unwind once again. And we're going to bring ourselves into kind of that kneeling position, where we're going to get into a hip flexor and a quad stretch. So we're going to say your right knee stays down and your right hand reaches up and over and across. That's okay. You can either side, doesn't matter here, folks. No big deal. Okay, so as that reach happens, hopefully we can open up that rib cage. We're going to bring the hand down. We're going to bring that foot across. We're going to work down into that pigeon pose from here. So kind of the very first thing that I wanted to talk about of like, why is it like, what is the item? What is the number one thing that you can put in your body as your day starts? It's water. It's water. The very first thing you should be doing as you wake up is getting yourself a nice big glass of water and drinking that. Your body's been dehydrating throughout the night. So treat it to what it's primarily made of. Give it some water first and foremost. But then let's kind of then dive into, well, what are the great food options from here? I'm going to bring you back up. We're going to switch our kneeling position. And once again, kind of step through, lean the hips forward, and reach across so that we're opening the same side arm as the leg that's behind you. Some great food options. Well, first let's just break it down into like macros. Well, we definitely want something that has some good protein to it. We definitely want something that has some healthy fats. I want something that has a bunch of micronutrients in it too. Let's bring that arm down. Let's bring that leg across, pigeon pose, lock it down there, get comfy. And maybe some carbs, right? Maybe some complex carbs like some whole grains, some whole oats. Could be a great way to give you energy that's not going to spike your blood sugar, but keep you at a nice consistent burn throughout the day. But we need these macronutrients and even those micronutrients to really kind of thrive in our day in and day out, right? So we always try to talk about, well, we're doing exercise. We're here. We're doing exercise. Are we working on sleeping? Well, how about the first thing that you put into your body as you get your day going food-wise beyond a little bit of water? Don't you want that to be the best that it can be as well? Well, some eggs are like a superfood for sure. I mean, they've got tons of healthy fat, good protein. Let's go ahead and bring it back up from here. We're going to get into our downward dog next. So hands and feet just about shoulder width, if not a little wider. We're going to push back, kind of chest towards the ankles, and then just a little bit of relaxation through the shoulders and the elbow joints as well. So some eggs, and you got so many variations and ways that you can make eggs. You can make an egg casserole. You can scramble some eggs. You can fry up some eggs. If you use like a healthy oil, that sounds okay to me. Let's get the micronutrients though. If we're doing some eggs, let's throw something like some avocado, like some broccoli, some foods, some bell peppers that are going to add color, add kind of diversity to what we're doing. Let's go ahead and lower back down to the knees, and then from here we're going to get into the gate pose next, where we're going to go single leg out and that other arm reaching up and overhead. So smoothies a lot of times are a great way where you can get berries in, you can put things like spinach into there, and you really don't taste it a whole bunch. If you have kind of a clean protein, we often recommend like Vega protein, really kind of clean source through there. Nice big inhale in. Bring it down and switch it over. And we had talked about whole grain oats. We want complex carbs if we are going to have some carbs into the body. Things we want to avoid, cereals, right? Generally speaking, cereals are not a very good option. They're going to be used, they're going to have like a refined grain associated with them. And usually it's with a milk and a milk source that isn't necessarily all that healthy either. Let's bring it back down. We're going to get into our chest stretch here, so we're going to lean it back, squeezing the glutes first, and then bringing it back. And if you want to stay up, you're welcome to it. You can just pin your elbows back, or you can go hands to heels to really get deeper into this stretch here. So definitely, you know, kind of avoid cereals. I generally kind of cringe when I hear people saying that they eat cereal for breakfast. Concentrated juices like orange juice in the morning, not a good deal. Not really great for you. Bring yourself back up, nice and tall. And then let's go ahead and finish with a little bit of neck stretching. So we sit down, we're gonna bring one hand behind us, and our other, we're just gonna bring that head lightly to the side and just a little bit down. So, you know, it's kind of funny to think like, so we were raised in this like, oh, have cereal and juice. No, please don't do that. Like, get like more whole foods, things like eggs and vegetables and avocados and healthy fats into what you're doing, especially early on. And if you plan this stuff, you're winning with what's happening. Go ahead and switch. Opposite side. Breakfast burritos. Breakfast burritos are my #1 food in life. The tortilla might not always be the greatest, but we're talking about something that has like some eggs, some avocados, some veggies in there. Yeah, I think, you know, breakfast burrito can be done very well.
Fried hash browns, bacon.
No, you're getting out of control over there. All right, release the head. Find a nice inhale. Find one more nice exhale. Think bacon as we finish today.
Cheeseburgers, it's Memorial Weekend.
And you can tell where Sarah's head is at. She's ready to let loose. Well, everybody, thank you for this week, and we will see you next week.